Right, so let's take a look at how to use Lightroom to make a mask to either make our subject black and white or our background black and white. And I'm going to tell you this is still very new territory for me. I've really only learned about it in the last 2 weeks, so sometimes I am struggling. So if you're struggling with getting your mask, don't get too frustrated. Kind of keep experimenting or ask, because I still struggle. We won't talk about the 20 minutes that I spent prior to making this to try to do it a little flawless for you. So my picture is already in Lightroom. This photograph was by Nikki Pence. I think it's a great photograph. I love it. This is our normal editing button. We're going to come down here to masking. And first thing we want to realize, I think it does matter what version of Lightroom you're running. So if you don't see the options of people, go ahead and update your Lightroom. You can update Lightroom by going to the Creative Cloud app, and then you can look, it'll say up to date or update available. If it says update available, you can just click right here, and you should be good to go. Again, no promises, we're still working through this. But when I just mouse over, cursor over the person, you can see that it's doing a great job at selecting it. But if you look right here, when I cursor over again, it keeps thinking that this part of the scoreboard is his glove. So I'm going to go ahead and select him. And then I'm going to come over here to subtract. And I'm going to use object. I tried to use the brush and I can't seem to get it to work. I'm going to go to object. I'm just going to make a tiny selection right here. And it's really hard to see if it's worked or not worked, I think. Even if I go back to my mask. So when I go to mask 1 now, I can see I have a person and an object, and it shows me my full mask. So at this point, my mask looks right. So now I'm going to come over, and this menu looks like our editing menu, but you can see right here, this is the editing for the mask. So before I actually edit, I want to invert this if I want my background black and white. So I'm clicking on these 3 little dots, invert mask 1. So now the background is what is masked out. So what I'm editing in this panel is the mask itself. I'm going to come down here to saturation and take it to a 0 or a -100. I'm sorry, -100. And then if I struggle to be able to view this normal. Let's see. I can't X out there. Go back to your normal editing tools, and now you see. Now, in this particular example, the group of students that I'm making this tutorial for at this point in time want to be able to then edit in Photoshop because they want to edit some items out. So I am going to, this was a right click, edit in Photoshop. And again, I'm going to use some AI features over here. Let's look, because you may need updated Photoshop. You need to make sure you have the contextual task toolbar. That's what this is. So this is running on version 25.6. Although I think anything above 25 will work. To find your version, you can go to Help and About. So I'm going to use that contextual task toolbar to remove the background. Moving at the speed of light. Okay, so my background is removed. Now I'm going to work on the mask. Remember, you know you're working on the mask if there's a white box around it. and I'm going to use my marquee tool to make a selection of the part that I wish to bring back. I'm going to use white paint and my paint bucket, and I'm going to dump that in here. And then if I want to see kind of more realistically what it's going to look like, maybe in the yearbook, I may want to, we wouldn't have this checkered background. So if that background is going to be white, dump my white paint in there. You may want to put even one of your theme colors in there, depending on kind of what those are. So hope this helps. Please reach out if you have any questions.